Welcome to the Sociological Dictionary. This is my YouTube channel intended to help students of sociology get a better grasp of the meaning and use of sociological terms. In order to help you make the most out of these videos, I've made this introductory videos in which I want to explain a few things that are important as you're trying to learn new vocabulary. The first thing you should learn about sociology in particular is that it is new. Compared to other disciplines, sociology hasn't been around for very long, maybe 200 years at the most. Because of this, there's often a lot of disagreement between sociologists about what exactly terms mean. Take, for example, the most basic term, society. Most people would agree that sociology is the scientific study of society. But you should know that a lot of sociologists don't even agree on what exactly society is and how sociologists should go about studying it. Because of this, you should know that if you're using these videos for a course, your professor might have a slightly different take on the meaning and usage of words that I present here. You're welcome to use this, but you should keep in mind that your professor may be looking for something slightly different on tests and in papers. What I've tried to do is find consensus from introductory sociology textbooks, 101 textbooks. I've tried to use the terms or the definitions for terms that are most commonly used. I've tried to find a least common denominator for the terms, if you will. If there is significant disagreement or two schools of thought about the meaning of a term, then I try to present both of those terms. Second thing that you should keep in mind is that in sociology we study things that are familiar. Many sociological terms are everyday words. As such, it can be difficult understanding exactly what your professor or another writer or another speaker might be talking about. You may hear the professor use, for example, the word family in a class and find out later that the way you think of family is very different from the way your professor is thinking of family in their presentation. The third point is related to this. You should remember that definitions are arbitrary. The only reason that words mean things is because we've all agreed to act as if they mean things. The best way to think of a definition is as an agreement between individuals to use a word in a specific way. This is important in science, especially when we need to know exactly what we're talking about. The last point I want to make is that while vocabulary is important in every science, it's not the most important thing. It's only a first step. Terms, again, are arbitrary, and we invent them or assign them to things we see in real life. These things are related to each other in a variety of ways, and it's these relationships that all scientists are ultimately trying to understand. In particular, we're looking for cause and effect relationships. How do these things cause effects to happen in other things? It's important that as we're studying vocabulary, as we're entering and learning about a new discipline, we don't confuse labeling for understanding. I can properly label and assign meaning to all the different things that are all around me, but unless I understand the relationships between them, those labels have very little use, except for maybe to impress friends at a cocktail party. The first step in understanding a discipline is learning the labels. The most important step is the second step, however, where we begin to understand the relationships between the things that those labels are assigned to. In science, what we're really trying to understand and what we're really trying to do is predict outcomes. This is, in my opinion, the gold standard for science. Anyone can label, anyone can understand something that's been explained to them, but the best knowledge comes when we're able to predict an outcome. Okay, quick review. This is a sociology dictionary. It's meant to help you learn sociological terms as they're used. Sociology is new. There's not always agreement about what we're talking about. Sociology addresses everyday things, such as family, or marriage, or poverty, words that we might use every day. But as scientists, we often have very specific meanings for those terms. Definitions are arbitrary. Best way to think of a definition is an agreement between people about how to use a particular word. It's common in writing, within sociology and other disciplines, for people to begin their papers talking about exactly how they're going to use those particular words. Vocabulary is important, but we're not interested in just learning vocabulary words and memorizing lists of words. We're interested in understanding the relationships between the things that the words represent. Anyway, I hope this dictionary is useful to you, and I hope it helps you pass your class. Thanks for watching.